Hello, welcome back to Blender CC LiveENODING. In this episode, I want to show you how I created this kind of like a walking starfish donuts. This one is actually, there's a lot of things going on here, but I will try to explain it. So originally, I was inspired by this rainbow tube dance performance. I think you can find this online. And of course, we can see starfish, and starfish is really cool creatures. It's very simple, but it's also very sophisticated. And I want to make like a dancing or like a walking donut starfish. So I decided, okay, I might use a grease pencil. If you see this, you might be, okay, what's going on here? There's a lot of things. This is actually just grease pencil. And what you see here is the onion skinning. The purple one is the one that's before, and green one is the one that's after. If you ever touch grease pencil and animations, you will understand this. There's a keyframe going on behind the scenes. So if we look at the grease pencil, you can see there's this 3 keyframe of this object, grease pencil objects. All right, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have five different stroke of grease pencil, and then here suddenly we have donuts. And this is actually, I've explained this in the past. You can easily convert grease pencil strokes into a curve, and then you can instance objects on the curve. Right, so let me uncover all the details underneath. First of all, this is Starfish. It's converting GP into curve. Okay, so this is the usual Starfish nodes that's doing its job. We can still control the procedurality underneath, but basically this thing look into the grease pencil at a certain frame and then passing it into geometry nodes. Let me bring back the animation timeline. Okay, so the output of this is alpha objects that's currently hidden. This is all curve nodes that's being generated, and it's changing on the fly also. At the same time, we have this 1, 2, 3. This is like the default cube that's being converted into these donuts. So inside the geometry nodes, we can see here, this is curve objects coming in. And then I convert the curve into points, and then I have this point scaling. We have actually the ability to rotate the donuts, and we can also scale, randomly scale it. And then I just instance this blah objects. This is this donut right here. This is my own procedural donuts. Yeah, it's just simply being instance. If you ever want to also randomize the scale of the donuts, you can randomize. So we have a little bit more variations to the donuts if you want to do this. Yeah, so we have this walking donuts. Originally, if I wanna start from scratch, there's a lot of things going on. We know that. So this is clean Blender, right? If you Shift A, you create grease pencil, blank, and of course by default you can go to draw. I will right click and increase the radius and strength. I wanna have like full. So this is, for example, this is my starfish, and By default, we also need to turn on auto keying, because even though it's drawing like a grease pencil stroke and a keyframe, we need to turn this on so we can draw the next keyframe. So this is grease pencil. I draw the second frame, so we have this and this, right? So if you want to see the onion skinning, you need to turn this on from here. So if you want to draw the next keyframe, you can see this green color, and we can follow that. We can make like a dancing starfish this way. All right. So, but that's the grease pencil alone. So if you want to convert this into curve, you use the GP macro. You can specify the grease pencil and grease pencil layer and active frame. So we have this viewer draw object that we can bake. If we bake, it's become like polygon edge. This is Fairchalk doing it in real time. Really cool. Really cool. And I can use polyview. This one actually generates curve with radius. There's a lot of things. There's the details that you can do also. If you ever have like grease pencil strokes with a different radius, look at this. This is grease pencil with different radius that's changing based on the volume that you sculpt. The thickness also can be animated. This is actually possible as well, to use Fairchalk and then just convert it into curve that's respecting this radius. This is actually an example from Zephy, from one of Fairchalk developer, so you can read the curve and then converting it in real time. You can kind of do the same thing using geometry nodes, however, so it's simpler with geometry nodes. So this is the curve that's Fairchalk already converted with the radius, etc. Anyhow, with the tube man, originally I have the tube like this. I tested out, so with the starfish, and then I tried different strokes. Sometimes it's glitching a little bit here. Here I'm using assets from Sketchfab, which is the ring from Lord of the Ring, but I make it looking like a Shang-Chi. But instead of using the ring, I'm using the donuts in my last example because it's my own donuts. Right. So we end up with this madness. So anyway, the idea is, as long you keep the stroke the same, like in this case, just this single grease pencil, and then you go to draw mode, and if you want to draw a different stroke, let me try to show you. So we have, this is the last keyframe of the grease pencil, so I can draw the next one. So we have like this dancing grease pencil, converting it into curve, and then all the way to the donuts. And we still have control over the resampling of the donuts. You can resample it based on the length, or sometimes also evaluate it. Can work, but I think the length is simpler. Scale the points and then randomizing it a little bit. If you want, you can also randomize the rotations a little bit. This is point rotate. We can also randomize the point rotation vector, add. Yeah, this is randomized. You don't actually need to do this, but just in case you want to add some randomization, you can do this. So we have the dancing starfish. Anytime, if you don't need the randomizations, just tap M. Which one you prefer? Yeah, anyway, seems to be working. But yeah, grease pencil is really powerful in Blender. I think not many people understand it fully, because grease pencil itself can have multiple layers, multiple time keyframes, and multiple material. But I'm using it just like paint effects in Maya, procedurally, or you can also think of it like something inside Houdini. So in a nutshell, to summarize everything, I'm using sphere chalk to convert grease pencil keyframes and layers into curve, and then all this curve is becoming these objects, all these separate objects that geometry nodes is doing something underneath, and I'm piping the input of different curve. So each of these objects have a different curve coming into geometry nodes to generate the donuts. Alright, so hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.